and welcome to my channel. In this 30 minutes class, we're going to focus on opening the heart and hips. It's going to be a good energizing class, perfect for an afternoon pickup. So whenever you're ready, let's start into child pose. We're going to bring the knees as wide as the mat. We're going to walk the hands in front of us. We're staying here just for a few moments, taking this chance to really arrive here, to your body, to your breath, shifting the focus into the present moment. Taking a moment to check in with yourself, noticing how you're feeling as you're stepping on the mat. I'm trying to bring no judgment, no criticism. You're just acknowledging here. Take the next few breaths to set an intention for this practice. What is that you wish to focus on as we're moving around the mat? What kind of energy do you want to bring into the body, into the mind? And once it's become clear what your intention is going to be, let's take a big breath in through the nose. And a big breath out through the mouth. Starting to walk the fingertips further forward towards the front of the mat. Maybe lifting the palms off the ground, coming on top of your fingers. Starting to bring energy through your arms, your shoulders, your upper back. And then starting to engage the muscles of the neck as well. So you're lifting the forehead off the floor, but you're still looking down. So the ears are more or less coming in line with your arms. Chin is slightly tucked into the chest. And you can find a gentle sway from side to side, allowing soft movements to come into the body. And then keep these energy through your arms, but flatten the palms down to the ground. Wiggle the knees closer together. Tuck the chin to the chest and round the spine up towards the sky, slowly rolling yourself forward. And once the shoulders are on top of the wrist, bring the belly down towards the mat. Open your heart to look forward and then send the hips all the way back towards the heels. And again, chin to chest, round the spine up, rolling yourself forward. Once you're at the top, find that back bend, shining your heart towards the front. Space into the neck, sending the hips back. One more time like this. Rounding the spine up as you're rolling yourself towards the front. And then opening your chest, finding that back bend. And then send the hips back behind you as you're still looking forward. Now come all the way towards the front. Come into your tabletop position. And you can move through a more traditional cat-cow here. You can keep moving for a few breaths, exactly as we were doing a moment ago with those long waves. But you can start adding whatever extra movements feel better into your body. Maybe you're adding extra circles with your torso. Any wiggles into the hips, into the shoulders, stretches into the soles of the feet, tapping the toes. Taking a moment to really tap into your intuition. And understanding what feels good, what your body needs today. And let's take just a couple more breaths as you're moving, as you're expanding, inviting energy in. And then slowly start to make your way into a tabletop position, finding a neutral spine. Now, we're gonna reach the right foot up towards the ceiling. So your knee's gonna stay bent. You're gonna flex the right foot. And as you're doing so, pressing the floor away, you're opening your heart. Exhale, bring the knee towards the nose, round the spine up towards the sky. Inhale to reach the foot, the sole of the foot towards the ceiling as you're opening the heart forward, pressing the ground away. Exhale. Exhale, round the spine, knee towards the nose. 2 more times like this. Inhale to find your back bend. Flexing the right foot as you're reaching it towards the sky. Exhale to round the spine, chin to the nose, the knee towards the nose. Beautiful. Now reach the leg back behind and the left arm to grab hold of the foot. Keep pressing through your right hand and start kicking the foot into your left. Opening your heart towards the front. Finding your balance. It's okay if you're wobbling, it's okay if you're falling. Find that connection with your breath. And then with control, release both hand and knee back onto the mat. Back into your tabletop position. Same thing onto the opposite side. Your left leg is going to reach back up. You're flexing the left foot. It's going to reach towards the sky. And as you're doing that, you're opening the heart. Exhale. Bring the knee towards the nose as you're rounding the spine. Inhale, reach it back. Shine your heart forward. Exhale to round, engaging the core. And again, 2 more times like this. Inhale. Exhale. One last one. Inhale to open the front of the torso. Exhale to bring the knee towards the nose. Inhale to reach the leg back. This time, wrap everything into the midline and reach the right hand to grab hold of the left foot. Kick the foot into your hand and open your chest forward. Breathe here. And then with control, you're letting go. Releasing the hand and the knee back onto the mat. Let's take just a couple of cat-cows here. Moving at your own pace. And then coming back through center. Now, let's walk the hands all the way towards the front, releasing the thighs and the hips onto the ground. We're going to bring the elbows directly underneath the shoulders, coming into sphinx. If this pose brings any unnecessary tension into the lower back, feels too intense, you can wiggle the forearms, the elbows a little bit more further towards the front. From here, your hands are energetically reaching towards the back, and as you're doing that, you're opening your chest, shoulders away from the ears. Breathing here. Feeling that expansion, that sense of spaciousness you're inviting in. And then we're going to bend that right knee. Right heel reaches towards your butt cheek. Hold here. And then reach the right hand behind you. Grab hold of the foot and bring the heel a little bit closer towards your butt cheek. And you can stay here. This can be quite intense already. Or if it feels good for the shoulders, you can flip the right fingertips towards the front. Maybe it feels good to already go a little bit further by lifting that left forearm off the ground. Make sure you're not collapsing here. You're still pressing the floor away. You're keeping the neck, space into the neck. And with control, you're releasing the left forearm down and releasing the foot towards the back. Come back into your sphinx, 1 breath here. And then lift that left heel, bring it closer towards you. Hold. And then reach the left hand behind you. Grab hold of the foot. Bring the heel a little bit closer towards your butt cheek. And you can stay as you are, or you can bring the fingertips to point forward. Maybe your right forearm lifts off the ground. Again, making sure you're not collapsing, that you're not taking the furthest option just for the sake of it, but only because it feels actually good into the body while you maintain the form. And then with control, forearm comes down, you're releasing the foot, and you're bringing the forehead onto your hands, wiggling the hips from side to side. Now we're going to open the left arm all the way towards the side, and we're going to push the ground through the right, stacking that right hip on top of the left. And maybe you're staying here. Maybe it feels good to reach that right foot behind you. Maybe starting to point the hips towards the ceiling. This can be quite intense for the shoulders, so again, wherever you are, make sure you can fully breathe still and it doesn't bring any pain. And then with control, come back through center. We're going to do the same onto the other side. We're going to extend the right arm into a T shape, and we're going to first stack the hips one on top of the other, and maybe this is enough already. Maybe the left foot reaches behind you. Couple of deep breaths here. Feeling that opening, that stretch. And then gently releasing and coming back through center onto your belly. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders and push the ground away. Sending the hips back towards the heels, tucking the toes, and then lift up into your downward facing dog. A few movements here, stretching through the hamstring, pedaling the knees one after the other into the chest. Any other movement that your body needs here, feel free to take it. Listening to your body, being mindful. And maybe come back already to that intention we set at the beginning. Remembering how it is that you want to feel as you're moving around the mat today. Honoring that intention. Coming into a place of stillness, spreading the fingertips wide, pushing the ground away. Lengthening the spine so the tailbone reaches high. And if the knees need to be bent, bend them. Drawing the ribcage in. And then wiggling the big toes to touch. Lifting the heels high. Tuck the chin to the chest and round the spine up as you're rolling yourself towards the front. Similar to what we did from our child pose into a tabletop. Bring the knees to lightly touch the ground. Open your heart. Find that back bend. Then send the hips back and reach them up. Downward dog. And again, we're going to do it 2 more times. Chin to chest, round the spine, roll yourself forward. Knees to touch or to hover off the ground. Sending the hips back and all the way up. 1 more time. Chin to chest, round your back. Roll yourself towards the front with control. Find your back bend, open your heart, keep looking forward. And then send the hips back and up. Back into your downward dog. Keep the big toes together. Lift the heels high and drop them all the way towards the left side, towards the left corner of the mat. Starting to send the hips back towards the heels. You can find a bouncing movement. Gently sending the hips more and more towards that left corner of the mat. Equal weight through your hands still. And then shoot yourself forward. Bring that left knee directly underneath the hip and right fingertips up towards the sky, finding your supported side plank. Tucking the tailbone, engaging the core. And then release the right hand down, send the left foot back, come back through center, big toes are still to touch. Lift the heels, drop them all the way towards the right. And start that gentle bounce of your hips towards the right back corner of the mat. Finding perhaps a little bit more space each time. Keeping the hands grounded on the mat. Stretching onto the side of the body. And then shoot yourself forward, right knee underneath the right hip. Left fingertips towards the sky. Find your supported side plank. Feeling the energy moving through the body. Left hand comes down onto the ground. You're sending that right foot back. You're coming back through center, downward facing dog. Keep the big toes together. We're going to do it once again. Lifting the heels and dropping them towards the left. Now, find your space. Send the hips all the way back. Bring that sense of expansion through the side of your torso. And then shoot yourself forward. Find your supported side plank like we did before. So left knee underneath the left hip. Right fingertips towards the sky. Lift yourself up. Bring the torso to stack on top of the hips. Right hand onto the side of your leg. And left arm above your head. Finding your gate pose. Now, still reaching towards the back of the mat. You're sending the hips towards your left heel. Both hands are now reaching towards the right foot, the right toes. Finding your ass straddle, your right foot can lift off the ground if that feels more accessible, more comfortable into the body. Allowing that space into the inner thigh, hamstring, groin. And then we're going to walk the hands through center and all the way towards the front of the mat. And as we're doing so, we're bringing that right foot with us all the way at the top. We're going to tap the back toes, lift the back knee, and right fingertips are going to reach up, revolved lunge. Opening your chest, inviting that twist. And then keep facing the same direction. You're going to lift your torso up. So your right fingertips are reaching back, your left are reaching forward. You're lifting into a twisted high lunge. Being very mindful of your front knee, of your front thigh, keeping that external rotation so the knee doesn't collapse. And your left hip bone keeps pointing forward. So you're twisting using your core strength. Reach the right hand on the back of your left thigh, the left arm above your head. Open your heart. Breathe deeply here. And then open towards the opposite side of the mat. Find your warrior two. Take a moment to adjust if needed. Press into the outside edge of your back foot. Softening the shoulders and the elbows. Feel yourself rooted, grounded here. Inhale, flip the front palm, reach forward. Exhale to reverse. Keep the front knee bent here. Keep that external rotation into the thigh. And then come forward, bring the elbow on top of your right thigh and the left arm above your head. Keep pressing through that right forearm. So you're not resting here, you're not collapsing, but there's space through the body. And then once again, reverse. Reaching the right fingertips back. One more time, coming forward, extend the side angle. Lift yourself up, extend that right leg, arms wide. Bring that right foot partly to the left. And as you're reaching your arms up, you're going to bring the heels slightly inwards towards each other. Palms together. Exhale to drop into your goddess pose. So your knees bend, you're keeping external rotation. And to be able to do that, you can shorten the stance, you can be a little bit higher. Find what option works for you here. One more breath here, grounding a little bit more. And then extend the legs on. Bring the hands into your hips. Bring the feet back to be parallel to the short side of the mat. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, hinging from the hips, find your fold. Bring the hands down onto the ground. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Let's take a couple of breaths here. And then reach the arms all the way behind your back. Interlace the fingertips together and move them towards the floor in front of you. All the way above your head. Gently release the hands. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. And exhale to walk all the way towards the front, pivoting the hips. Now we're coming onto the outside edge of the left foot, bringing the right on top or in front. Right fingertips to the sky, full side plank. Embrace all shakes, all wobbles for 3. Hips are lifted for 2. And 1. Bring that right hand down onto the ground, pivot onto your toes. The knees can drop onto the floor if needed. Lean forward, release chaturanga. Inhale, find your back bend, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of deep breaths here, lengthening the spine. Pressing fully through the palms. And then bring the big toes together, lift the heels high. Drop the heels all the way towards the right side, the right corner of the mat. Sending the hips back towards the heels. Bringing space through the side of the body. And then shoot yourself forward. Right knee underneath the right hip, left fingertips to the sky, support your side plank. Lift your torso up, bring the left hand into the side of the leg, right arm above your head, find your gate pose. Breathing fully here. And then as you're still reaching towards the back of the mat, you're sending the hips all the way back. Hands reaching towards your left foot, your left toes, finding your half straddle. Deep breaths. And then we'll walk the hands through center and all the way towards the front of the mat, bringing that left foot as well, stepping it at the front of the mat. Tacking the right toes, lifting the right knee, left fingertips to the sky. Inviting that twist through the spine, opening your chest. And then facing the same direction, you're going to lift yourself up, finding your twisted lunge. Be mindful of your front knee, not collapsing inside. And be mindful of your right hip bone, which will want to come towards the left. See if you can keep it pointing forward so you can twist using only your torso without your hips. Left hand on the back of the thigh, right arm above your head. Open your heart. And then open towards the opposite side, finding your warrior two. Adjusting if needed, pressing into the outside edge of your back foot, tucking the tailbone, engaging the core. Inhale, flip the front palm, reach forward. Exhale to reverse, keeping that front knee bent. And coming forward, elbow on top of the thigh, right arm above your head, extend the side angle. Make sure you're not resting here, you're still keeping your body engaged, you're keeping that space. And then you're reversing one more time. Coming forward, finding your side angle. Lift yourself up. Now extend that left leg, bring the foot parallel to the other. As you're reaching the arms up, you're bringing the heels slightly in. Palms together, exhale, drop down into your goddess. Keeping that external rotation as before. See if you can release the hips if it's available to you a little bit lower. And then extend the legs long. Bring the feet parallel to the short side, hands on hips. Inhale, lift and length. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Lengthen the spine. Exhale to find a little bit more space. Taking a few breaths here. Option to get inverted if you have a safe tripod headstand here. Option to stay exactly as you are. Take your time if you're upside down. Inhale, come halfway up. And exhale to walk all the way towards the front, lifting that right heel off the ground. Reach the left fingertips up towards the sky and start to transition into your side plank. Coming into the outside edge of your right foot, left foot on top. Keeping your hips lifted, top end active. Breathe here for 3, 4, 2, and 1. Release that top hand down onto the ground, pivot into your toes, option for the knees to come onto the ground. Otherwise, lean forward, release chaturanga. Inhale, find your back bend, your option. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a couple of deep breaths here, in and out through the nose. And then we're gonna bend the knees and look towards the front. We're stepping or jumping the feet onto the outside of your hands. Coming into Malasana, into your Yogi squat. Bringing the hands into prayer, your heart center, gently pressing the knees apart. Lengthening the spine. Your heels can be lifted, you can bring blocks underneath them, having a little bit more support. Maybe closing your eyes here for a moment. Connecting to your breath once again, connecting to that intention once again. Taking a moment to honor your movement. And then leaving the eyes open and gently, gracefully, let go of your sitting bones onto the ground. You're going to grab hold of the back of the thighs and you're going to guide your spine all the way onto the mat. Bring the ankle to be in line with your knees and the palms flat onto the ground, fingertips reaching towards your feet. You're going to inhale to imprint the whole spine down onto the mat and exhale to start lifting the hips, the thighs, the pelvis up towards the sky, engaging your glutes. And then gently, vertebra by vertebra, tucking the tailbone in, you're going to release it all back onto the ground. 2 more times. Inhale to imprint the spine. Exhale to start lifting the hips high, trying to keep the knees tracking over your toes. And slowly release your whole spine back onto the mat. Now we're going to take it one more time. We're going to hold for 5 breaths. If it feels good, you can move into wheel. We're all going to get together into bridge and I'll cue you for wheel if you wish to go further. Imprint with your inhale. Exhale to lift the hips high. Find your bridge. You can stay, you can interlace the fingertips together, coming more onto your shoulders. If you wish to come into your wheel, hands are coming either side of your ears, fingertips pointing towards your shoulders. And then pressing the ground away to come onto the crown of the head. And then from here, you're pushing the floor away, coming into wheel. Opening your chest. Finding your breath, keeping your legs, your glutes active. 2 more breaths. Gently start to calm down the same way you came up. And from bridge as well, vertebra by vertebra, you're releasing the whole spine down. Now let's bring the feet as wide as the mat and drop the knees in towards each other. Take a moment here, perhaps closing your eyes. Come back to your breathing. And then you're going to start wiggling the knees from side to side. Start to bring gentle twists to counterbalance. And then next time your knees are reaching towards the right, you're going to keep them there. And you can stay as you are, or you can go a little bit deeper into the twist by stacking that left knee on top of the right. Keeping that left shoulder glued on the ground, look towards the left. A few breaths. Releasing any unnecessary tension from your back, from your lower spine. And then gently bring the knees back through center, taking a similar option to the other side. So maybe your knees stayed wide. You can take the same, maybe you were stacking them. And once again, bring the knees back to center. Give yourself a big hug, a big squeeze. And then extend the legs long. Now, you have the option to come into your Savasana. Extending arms and legs. Feeling that sense of relaxation coming into the body. Finding a place of stillness where you can let go of any effort. Or maybe it feels nice to bring the knees back into the chest and lift yourself up into a seated position. Your choice, your practice, your option. Wherever you are, keep your eyes closed just for a few moments. Know that you can stay here as long as you need. But if you're ready to come out, if you're laying on the ground, gently start wiggling your toes, your fingers. Maybe rocking the head from side to side, bringing movements through the neck. And then we're all going to reach the arms above the head. Bringing a long stretch through the body. And then we're all going to meet into a seated position. Take your time to come here. And taking a big inhale in through the nose. And let it out. Bring the hands into prayer, heart center. And bow the head to your heart, your inner teacher. Namaste.